Yo guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today I've got another Black Ops 7 Zombies XP farm, weapon level farm, camo farm, whatever you want to call it. And for our class setup, guys, all we're going to do is obviously put our favorite weapon on. It doesn't matter what weapon you guys want to use. If you're going for camos, weapon levels, whatever it might be, you guys can just chuck on whatever it is that you do want to use. And then the one thing I will say for your field upgrade, you don't have to run this, but I like to run Toxic Growth, especially if you've got some augments on it, because it's just going to help with this spot a little bit more. But what we're going to do, guys, is come over to play, select match, standard, play solo. You can do this in a squad as well if you want to, but I'm just going to be playing solo for the sake of the video. And then load into Ashes of the Damned and then start your mission. So now obviously we are in game, guys. You have got two options. The first thing you can do is obviously go and turn the Rampage Inducer on if you want to. If you're a confident player, you can easily get through the first few rounds with Rampage Inducer on. You can go and do that because, of course, it's going to give us more zombie spawns once we do get to the spot. Or what you guys can do is get everything set up and ready to go and then come back here, turn Rampage Inducer on and go to the spot that we're going to be going to. But just for the sake of this video, I'm purposely going to leave it off just so you can see, even without Rampage Inducer on, how good this spot is going to be. Like, it is a crazy, crazy good spot that you don't need Rampage Inducer on. You're going to get good spawns, you're going to get good XP, you're going to get good camos done without having Rampage Inducer on. So I just want to prove that to you guys. And all we're going to do is go through the first few steps of the map, as you would expect. We're going to upgrade old Tessie, put the head in there. We're going to just drive down, get some power turn on, and all these stuff that you'd expect. We'll go down to Blackwater Lake. Doesn't matter what way you go here, guys. If you go to farm or Blackwater, really does not matter. I'm just going to go here just so then we have Speed Cola unlocked down this way. But all we're going to do is just simply drive down and follow the first few steps. And as always, I will show you every single step to setting this up. I'm not just going to jump into the spot, so then you guys might get confused if you're new to zombies. I understand some of you guys might have played a lot of zombies, and if you have, if you want to, you can skip through the video. But for any of you guys that are new to zombies or haven't played too much, you don't exactly know where you're going or the steps that you're doing, let me show you exactly what it is that we're going to do. So we're going to get the power turned on down here. Right, so now we've got enough points. All we need to do is open this door here. We can go up to the top and switch power on. Then we can jump straight back in old Tessie. We don't need to mess about here. Like I said, if you guys want to grab speed code or anything whilst you are here, you can do so, but we can always come back. Or we can just go to the perk machine once it does spawn in. We're now just going to drive down to Ashwood, and we are going to do exactly the same thing down there. Turn the power on, all of that sort of good stuff. So once again, we're going to come down here. We're going to drop old Tessie off, and then you guys can go up the left or the right-hand side. It's entirely up to you. I always just go left. There's no particular reason for it, but I always just go left here. We're going to need 1,000 points to get through the first door, which we have, so we can run straight through here. Then we're going to need a few more points to get through this last bit, and then we can go ahead and turn the power on. And then, to be honest, we're not too far away from getting this spot set up. Like I said, it is a really, really easy spot to get set up. There's not really a whole lot that has to go into it. It is very, very simple just to get together and honestly get into that spot. Like I said, the only things you're probably going to want to do is, as you go and as often as you can, is upgrade your weapon rarity, upgrade the pack-a-punch, all of that sort of stuff. But we're going to get into that when we get into that anyway. So we will just cover the first few steps. Like I said, the first thing we are going to do is just go ahead and get the power turn on down there. So we can now open up this. We can go down here. We can turn the power on. And like I said, I know some of you guys probably know how to do all of this, and you probably understand all the steps, and some people will moan that this video is a bit longer than it needs to be. But at the end of the day, I like to show all the steps, just so if anyone is new, they do know what they're doing. They're not going to get confused. They're not going to struggle with where they're going or what they're doing. So now that's done, guys, we can just turn the power on like so. And then once the power is on, we can go and upgrade old Tessie, which is exactly what we want to do. It's going to jump down. We're going to slide all the way down to the bottom. The garage doors will now open. We can jump inside old Tessie and just take her forwards into the upgrade pad. As you guys know, we're just going to upgrade it like so. That is now going to allow us to pack a punch off the back of old Tessie, which is absolutely perfect because we are going to be using old Tessie to get into this spot. So now that we've upgraded old Tessie, guys, all we're simply going to do is drive all the way back to the very start of the spawn room where you obviously spawn in. So we're just going to retrace our steps all the way back, going past Blackwater Lake, all that stuff, and then we are going to be ready to just jump into the spot back at the spawn room, as I mentioned a moment ago. So again, we're going to fly past where we just were up here. We're going to go all the way back into the spawn room, and then in theory, everything is going to be all ready to go. One thing I will mention is this spot is slightly better with the wonder weapon, simply because of the damage it's going to do, and it makes it a little bit easier, but it's not essential. You don't need it. You can quite easily go ahead and get this done. So what we're going to do, guys, is literally where old Tessie spawns in, we are then going to drive around just like so, and we're going to have to just try and parallel park this bad boy in this little gap to the point that it basically is touching every single little corner. So if we do that, and then we have it at the front and the back, the zombies now shouldn't be able to get either side of us. So they shouldn't be able to come from the left, they shouldn't be able to come from the right, and then if we lay down, we can quite easily just farm the zombies like so. Like I said, if you do have the wonder weapon, you are about to do a bit more damage. And then if you guys see that old Tessie is about to take any damage or explode at any point, you just need to repair it. And the reason that I say that is if old Tessie blows up, it is going to move you. It's going to move the zombies. It's just going to mess up the whole spot. So all you are going to need to do, guys, is literally lay down. Like I said, if you do have the wonder weapon, you can just shoot at the floor and it's going to make it slightly easier. But as you can see, even without the wonder weapon, you guys can just sit and farm any XP that you want. You guys can just farm your weapon levels, farm your player levels, all that sort of stuff. With camos, it's not the best simply because, you know, you're going to be laying here not hitting critical kills. But just for the sake of this video, I'm going to go and get the wonder weapon and show you guys how much better it is with the wonder weapon if you guys can grab it. But like I said, it's not essential that you have it. You can quite easily do it without the wonder weapon. You're just going to have your weapons pack-a-punched, upgraded rarity, all of that sort of stuff. Okay, so I went and got the ray gun, which isn't the best of the wonder weapons to use because obviously you can run out of ammo with the ray gun. Whereas with the other one, you can send the ammo, you can recall it, which makes it a little bit better. But as you can see, if you've got a wonder weapon or something like that you can just shoot at the floor, take out majority of the zombies at once. Launchers aren't going to work for this. And the thing is, you can almost grab the ammo from there. Then you can pack a punch off the back of old Tessie. But if you need ammo, you can quite simply just jump over the top, grab your ammo, jump back over old Tessie and get in. So the chances of you going down just because you need ammo aren't very high. Like, it's not very likely that you are going to need it. And this is a super easy AFK spot, guys. Like, it really is just an easy AFK spot. The only thing that's going to do damage to you is, like I said, if old Tessie blows up, because the zombies are going to do damage to old Tessie. So it's only if the old Tessie blows up or if the bears appear. So if you do get a bear spawn, then all you simply need to do, guys, is go ahead and focus on the bear, take the bear out, do the damage there, and then you can go back to focusing on the zombies. The bear isn't going to be able to get to you, but it is going to start doing a lot of damage to old Tessie. And like I said, if it blows up, it can move the car. It can then get in and around from the other side. So just bear that in mind when the bears do spawn in. Just be careful with them. Take them out first. Really focus on them. And then get back into your spot. And just focus on the rest of the zombies. Like I said, the only thing that this spot doesn't have realistically is the ability to get your critical kills. Like, you can do it, but you know, that's not exactly what this spot's for. This spot is for getting to high rounds. It's taking out a lot of zombies. It's getting a lot of XP, a lot of weapon levels and stuff like that. But before I wrap it all up, guys, I do just want to show you how it works with old Tessie, you know, blowing up, doing a bit of damage. So once it gets to the point that you can see old Tessie needs to be repaired, that is all we're going to have to do. And I'll show you an example of it. I'll show you exactly what we need to do. So you can see old Tessie's on fire, not a lot of health. And if you really do want to check the health of old Tessie, just jump in. You can see I've still got a little bit of health there on the back. Jump back out and you're going to be sat back in the same spot. Like, if you get in and out of the vehicle, it's not going to affect the spot. It's not going to affect the glitch. But you can see how easy it is to get a bunch of zombies spawn in, do a bunch of XP, a bunch of weapon levels, all of that sort of stuff. Like, if I just let them all pile up for a minute, you'll see just how good it is. You do need to be a little bit careful. They don't push around the front like that. Like, if you find that they're pushing around this front, either come and sit back in this corner or just readjust the car. If you find that they're getting in the front or behind, like, you do just need to move the car a little bit. It's not exactly going to be the end of the world like that. The zombies are quite obviously pushing each other round. So what I'm going to do is just jump in old Tessie, and I am literally going to move forwards the slightest little bit because now there's a gap here. So it'd be interesting to see if they can come around the back or not, but they shouldn't be able to get around the front. So once you're here, you are just going to have to mess about a little bit with, like, moving it about, moving the car backwards and forwards. If you find that maybe you're a little bit too far forwards, a little too far back, I might be a little bit too far forwards there. So I'm just going to move it back in the slightest little bit like that. So you can just, yeah, I mean, that looks pretty promising. So we'll see if they can get around the back there because there is a little bit of a gap. And then there's not too much around the front. But it's a little bit of just moving the car about. You might have to move it back this way a little bit more, like into the corner more. You might have to move it outwards. You might have to move it frontwards, backwards. Whatever it might be, guys, just be aware that you may have to move the car about just a little bit just to get into the perfect spot with this glitch. So if you do try this spot out and it doesn't work straight away, that does not mean that it's patched. You are just going to have to try and move the car about. If you've moved the car about loads, then check the comments. Obviously, if it's patched, someone will let you know in the comments that it is patched. But you should be good on this for quite a while. But again, I'm now going to see if any zombies do manage to get around the back here, because it will be interesting to show you guys an example of, you know, having to move the car around just a little bit. Because you saw at the end of that round there when I was just letting them all pile up, they did manage to push one or two around the front, but it does not look as though they are going to be able to squeeze around the side here. It looks like they're all just going to pile up next to each other over in that corner, which is absolutely perfect. Old Tessie still doesn't need repairing from what we can see. And as you can see, the zombies are all just piling up in that corner. And if they're piling up in that corner, they're going to try and push each other forwards around the front. But there you go. Old Tessie's now been damaged. All we've got to do is repair it. just like so. Repairing old Tessie, and bang, there they go. The car's back in perfect health, back in that corner. Absolutely perfect. So it really is that easy, guys. You can now just sit here, farm your player levels, farm your XP. Like, you can sit so far back in your chair, you can go and lay down, whatever it is you want to do, and just farm your XP in this game. I mean, what are we now in terms of levels? We are level 50. I mean, it's such a good method, guys. It really is. Like, it's just such an easy method. As I said, in terms of critical kills and things like that, it's a little bit more difficult because obviously you can't see the majority of the zombies' heads. But it's just such an easy spot to farm XP. And again, like I said, you can go and turn Rampage Inducer on now if you want to. So if you're here, turn your Rampage Inducer on. And the other thing that I was saying about Toxic Growth, just on the off chance they do manage to get in one area. Like I said, if you see there 1 or 2 getting around the front or 1 or 2 getting around the back, just pop your Toxic Growth in that spot. Like, I could pop my Toxic Growth there. If they then come round the back, they're just not going to get round. They're going to be getting stopped by the Toxic Growth. So that's the reason that I say to run that if you do want to. But it doesn't really matter what field upgrades you run in terms of any damage or anything that you're going to need it for. But as you can see, the odd zombie does get round the back. So that's exactly why we have our Toxic Growth there. And if they're getting round the back like that. So again, as you saw there, just 1 or 2 got round the back there. So what I'm going to do is grab old Tessie and just slightly move it back like so. And now it's further back round the back. It could go a little bit more forwards in all fairness. So it's just a case of if the spot stops working just a little bit, then you just need to get it all in the right spot and work out what's going on and where the right spot is. But as you can see, they're all just spawning around there. They're all just piling up. We can then just take out a whole bunch of zombies with no problem. Just like so. Like, it is such an easy spot to sit in, guys. If you guys have enjoyed today's video, please do leave a thumbs up on the video. It helps me out way more than you can ever imagine. Let me know your thoughts on this spot in the comments below. I would go and make the most of it, guys, for your weapon levels and your player levels before this does get patched, because it is inevitable that this gets patched very, very shortly. But if you guys have enjoyed it, be sure to smash a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on, and let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. And I will catch you guys all in the next one. Take it easy in a bit. Peace.